Alright, so welcome back. In today's video I have a huge lot of model train stuff to go through that I got for free. So, this actually relates to the train club that I'm part of. So after the show they had, I was there to help clean up on Sunday. And when we were cleaning up, some of the guys who were running it told us to just grab stuff and either take it out and throw it away or take it. So me and a friend just ended up being able to grab a bunch of the stuff and took it outside. There was a lot of stuff that we actually ended up having to throw out since there was so much. So there were a bunch of Lifelike and AHM and Tyco cars that ended up having to go. So there was actually a lot more to this, but I just wasn't able to take all of it home. So let's go through this. There's a lot of good stuff in here. And if you thought the last video where I was going through everything from the show was long, this will also be a pretty long one. So sit tight for this. I'm sorry if I'm still coughing a bit because I'm still somewhat sick and getting over it. So let's go over to the desk and start going through everything. Alright, so let's get into it. So first I'm going to go through the little box that was on the left there. First off, there is this car. In here, it's another grain car. This one actually does need some work because it does that from time to time. So a little bit of work, it'll be a good grain car. It's a nicely weathered car, has metal wheels, knuckle couplers and everything. So it'll be a good car to add to the grain train I've been trying to build. So, next up, we have this Varney kit box. In here, there's this 50-foot boxcar. I believe this is an exo-frame boxcar. I might be wrong. Correct me if I am, but also kind of interesting. Looks like it was lightly weathered. And, yeah. And then next up, this is Lee models. I don't think I have much from them, but this is a CNW 40-foot boxcar. It's kind of interesting, too. The truck's kind of broken off on there, so I need to fix that with the new screw. Now on to the next layer of cars here. So, first off, there's this Tyco Manoa Western and Atlantic Railroad, I believe. I don't know exactly what type of car this is. I don't think it's a normal boxcar. It looks different. If someone could tell me what it is, that would be great, but it is pretty interesting. And there's also this reefer. This has plastic wheels and horn hook couplers. It's just a yellow reefer. It's kind of interesting. Then there's this AHM 50-foot Pennsylvania boxcar. To me, it's also kind of interesting. Nothing much more to it. And then in this one, it's another AHM, I believe. Denver and Rio Grande 40-foot boxcar. Again, somewhat interesting looking. Not that much to it. Between this next layer of cars here, there's this Borden's Fine Cheeses Tyco car. I just like cheese, so I thought it was an interesting car with an interesting color scheme. So yeah, that's why I got that one. Then there's an Illinois Central grain car, which this one also has plastic wheels and horn hook couplers, obviously. But it'll be good to put some new Kadees on and some metal wheels and be a part of my grain train. So I believe now with the 11 that I had before this, and the 2 this, I have 12 grain cars for my train so far, so that's good. Then there's this interesting Transport Leasing Company boxcar. This actually has metal wheels and horn hook couplers, but these are old AHM metal wheels, so they won't work at the club I go to. It's still an interesting paint scheme, though. I really like it. So now, we're going to go on to this next level of car, which is the last one of this box. This is just the small box. This is an old Southern car. It does look kind of interesting. I believe it's a wood car. I'm probably wrong on that. And then this one's kind of interesting. It's an African car, but it's an... Let's move that out of the way. It's an Amtrak baggage car. Yeah, nothing much interesting there, but it's kind of random. And then this is a CNW car. I've actually looked into it. I believe this is some sort of sodium chemical car. It's really weird, but yeah, it's sort of interesting. Don't know much about it. it's a weird looking car. So, that was the first box. Now, I'm going to go on to the second box, which is much, much bigger. So, first of all, it's an AHM California Fast Freight Lane old box car. So, yeah, kind of interesting. Can go with that other box car kind of well. Here, there's exactly what it says it is. It's a Budweiser 34-foot old-time box car. It looks pretty much brand new. So, yeah. That. There's a whole bunch of stuff here too. So this box is the really good one, where this box itself has a great story. So once I get further to the bottom, I'll talk about that. So in here, there's actually a grain car kit. There's actually 3 of these. There was a pack of 3. So here, I'll just move that to the side. Here's the other 2 boxes. But yeah, some grain car kits are nice, so now I can have a grain train. This is in an AHM box, but this is a Tyco shell car. Don't know why it's in an AHM box, but whatever, it is. And then in this, there is an AHM Norfolk Southern, it's a really, really, really small car. A really small box. It's kind of interesting. It's just a gondola. It looks a bit old. I don't know when Norfolk Southern was created, but I don't really have any Norfolk Southern rolling stock, so it might be a first, aside from, well, one engine. Yeah, maybe there will be a little surprise in there later. But yeah, it's the smallest box of the whole thing. Just to get this out of the way, this is a Model Power E7 chassis, which was apparently on the $5 broken table, I believe. So I can see if I can find a shelf for this or something and have a decent engine. Now there's just a few more cars and boxes, and then there's a whole bunch of loose cars down in there. So this is a snowplow kit, which is out of wood. I'm not sure if I'll end up building this on camera, since I've never ever built a wood kit before. But it's interesting. And there is this, which I believe is a kit. No, it's just a Athearn boxcar with the base off the shell, so kind of interesting. A lot of stuff in here. This next one is a kit. This is an IHC blacksmith car, I believe. I don't know that much about it, but yeah, it looks like it's that. I don't really have much. It's kind of interesting. It'll be something to build. Some of these kits I might build on video, some I might not. So this is yet another kit for a 40-foot boxcar. Yeah, a lot of kits in this. And then, from the other box, we have a sort of matching reefer. Basically the exact same, but this time in a darker yellow. So now with all that, we can get into all the loose cars. And down below that, there are some goodies too. So, this isn't a freight car, but this is an evergreen container, which might be useful for one of my new container cars. Next up, this was actually cool. This is a brand new Tyco Burlington Northern Spotlight car. I don't think it's ever been used before. It had the box, but I don't know what happened to it, sadly, but an interesting car. I can use it with my BN GP30. I should get another BN unit at some point. This is some sort of Southern Pacific maintenance car. Maybe for a crane, I don't know exactly. If someone could tell me, that would be great. And there's this Athearn sort of long tank car. My club has a few of these in nicer condition. Needs new couplers, but yeah, not a terrible car. Trying to go through this somewhat quickly if you can't tell too, even though we're 8 minutes into this. So this, it kind of goes with my Lima Shea car. It's a Virginia and Truckee car. It also doesn't have a roof. I think it's the same style of car, so if I can manage to make a roof for that other car, could use this one as well for something. This one was kind of a big score. This is a Lee Valley Proto 2000 caboose, missing the trucks. So, I could put some trucks on this and have a pretty nice caboose, actually. So, might have to do something for that. And I believe this is an AHM Norfolk and Western coil car. This one's in really bad shape, but I might be able to do something with it. And this one was actually a pretty nice freight car. I don't know who made this, but this is a UP coal car. It's got knuckle couplers. It has painted plastic wheels. It's a pretty nice looking car, actually. So yeah. Let's see. Next up, let's go with a row of 3 of these. So this is a Pullman passenger car shell. Has no trucks or roof. Don't know what I'll do with this. Yeah, I do kind of want to get a 3D printer at some point, because then I could make things for stuff like this. There's this Blue Comet passenger car. This one does have a roof. Again, no trucks. They might all be made by the same company. They do look like a similar type of car. Then there's this Milwaukee road car. Also no trucks. The roof does kind of want to come out of it. So, more freight cars. Here's another Budweiser beer car. I think this is a slightly newer era car than the other one, since it's a bit longer. Also missing couplers, but I can easily put some of those on. I do want to convert my fleet to knuckle couplers at some point. And there's also another California fast freight line old-time boxcar, so I kind of have a train of these now. And this is a Tyco Manoa Santa Fe shock control boxcar. I do have another one that could go along with this, but it has Kadees. Again, I do kind of want to upgrade a lot of my rolling stock to at least Kadees now. Maybe at some point even all metal wheels, so we'll see. This, I believe, is an Athearn Burlington Northern car. Looks like it's been decaled. Also has plastic wheels and no couplers, but I can change that pretty easily. This is our interesting car. I like it. It's a Rock Island. I think it's a Lionel high cube boxcar. I don't really have many high cube boxcars aside from my chugging boxcar. So this is a welcome addition. And there is this. I can barely read it. I believe it says a Tidewater Southern boxcar. I believe this is a roundhouse. Missing a wheel, missing a coupler, but a really interesting, I think, weathered car. It's really weirdly weathered. Then there's this Union Pacific boxcar. I don't know who made it. It's a really weird gloss coating. It's kind of throwing me off, but it's interesting. It also, I believe, has a car log there. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah, interesting piece. I believe most of the rest of these cars are box cars, aside from a few. There's this, which is kind of interesting, I thought. It says Rom and Haas. I don't know what company that is, but I know Haas is also part of Racing Lot. But other than that, I don't know much about them. So, kind of an interesting car. If anyone knows about them, that would be interesting to hear. This is a Tyco Burlington Northern boxcar. Nothing much special about it, but yeah, just normal boxcar. Now, one of the last of the boxcars. This is a kind of nice, I believe it's an Athearn shell. I'm not sure about the chassis. Frisco boxcar. Missing a coupler again, but it's easy to change. So the last boxcar, it's actually a shell. It's a McLeod River Railway boxcar. Kind of an interesting shell. Might be nice to have a chassis for it. Now there's a few more freight cars left. There's this Great Northern Ore car. I believe it's an AHM. Yeah. So, then, here's an ATSF flat car. I believe this is an Athearn, missing all its couplers. It's really dirty, but yeah. Here is another Athearn flat car. This one's a bit shorter. It's a New York Central, missing one of its couplers. Kind of interesting. A lot of these. This one here, the second to last freight car of the lot, but there is still a ton left in here. So, here, let's see if I can get it on. I guess not. This is a Western and Atlantic Tyco Manoa boxcar. Yeah, I guess I do have a full train of these. So, I might need to get an 1800s era engine if the 2.40s aren't close enough. So this is the last freight car. This is a Bachmann Rock Island car. I used to have one of these, don't know what happened to it. This one's actually a conversion car, so that's a really useful thing to have for me. Then the rest of this, remember how I said I was going to tell you the whole story of this box? So, it was the $5 broken engine bin that I got all my stuff out of. They told me to take the whole bin or throw it in the dumpster, so I obviously took the whole bin, so there's a ton of engines left in here. But first off, there's just a steam engine tender. Let's see. Then there's an AHM trolley shell, which I might fix up. I might have a spare shell for one of these, actually. So, yeah, if I can get this motor remounted and do a little bit of work, I think that'll be a fine engine. Let's see. There's a whole bunch of dummies in here, too. Okay, so this is a powered Southern Pacific B unit, which could go with my A unit that I showed recently in that model train update video. But yeah, I am thinking of parting one of these engines out so I can get more of them working. This, I don't have any engines to actually go with it, but it's a powered PAB. These might actually be good wheels that I can put in something else. I don't really have a use for this, since I don't have any PAs yet. But yeah, might keep it around, might just sit for a while. Some more dummies here. This is some sort of Athearn Santa Fe Jeep dummy. All these engines have knuckles too, so it gives me some more incentive to just upgrade a lot of my rolling stock to knuckle couplers, so I can use a lot of these engines. This next one, so this is kind of nice. It's an Athearn Burlington Northern SD40-2, so I guess I do have another Burlington Northern engine to run that Spotlight caboose with. It does need a worm gear and stuff, which is kind of why I want to part out another engine. There's a few perspectives in here I could part out, but yeah. That's one decent engine. Okay, so here, I believe, I don't know exactly what type engine this is, but this is a CNW dummy. I believe it's some sort of SD. Yeah, nothing special about it. Missing a rear coupler. Can change that out pretty easily. Okay, from this, I believe it's an Athearn Great Northern GP9 dummy. And I think this is the first of the powered engines. I believe this might be an SD45. It does need new clips in here. Which, if I part out another engine, I could get those pretty easily. Doesn't seem like a terrible engine. Probably do some pretty good work and get it running. But yeah. If anyone was watching that other video, you'll remember I got a Tyco Shark Nose. There was another one in there. Apparently nobody bought it, so now I have two of these. I don't know what I'm going to do with a second one, but... okay then. This one's also kind of a conversion engine. It's got a horn hook on the front and a knuckle on the back, which is strange. Okay, this is another dummy. I don't know what type engine this is, but I know it doesn't have dynamic brakes. It's a Santa Fe, which is a kind of interesting detail on the front. This one might have been repainted before. I don't know. Some of these shells also had no engine to go with them, so I just kind of threw them on whatever seemed fit. This, I believe I was told, was a Santa Fe SD9. This one does really look like it's been repainted. Kind of an interesting piece of equipment. I don't really have any other SD9s, so it's an interesting thing to have. Then next up, this is an Athearn Southern Pacific GP9. There's actually a lot more GP9s to come in here, so I'd say be prepared for that. Because I'll have a whole bunch of these to fix, I guess. I also forgot to say, not restoring all these engines. I'll probably make restoration videos of a few that people want to see. Same with engines from the other thing, but I don't think I need to restore a whole bunch of similar engines. Okay, so here's another Athearn GP9. This one seems a bit more beat up and has some weirder handrails, but yeah, there's a pair of those. Also forgot to mention the other one was missing a rear coupler. Okay, so this next engine, it's interesting for me. It's my first powered Kato engine. Yeah, never had a Kato engine before, so interesting thing for me. Nothing much more to say about it. And this is another Athearn GP9, this time of a Santa Fe variety. Shell doesn't want to fit on the thing very well. But yeah, I'm gonna have to sort out the shell fitting issue with a lot of these engines. This one's actually really nice. I don't think the shell goes to this chassis, but didn't really have anything to go to. It's a kind of nice cotton belt shell that I just kind of threw on this dummy chassis, just since it didn't really have anything else to go with. So yeah, might be just a spare shell and a spare chassis. So now onto this last level of engines. So I believe this is in BN colors, but this is a little Athearn Hustler. It's got everything there aside from the bands. So yeah, I like these Athearn Hustlers. I've got 3 of them now. Good engines. And here we have another powered B unit. This time it's a Santa Fe. Yeah, this one's also got knuckles. Nothing much special about it. A lot of this lot is turning out to be Athearn, so I think a lot of these will work. This is, again, another Athearn. It's a Great Northern GP9, powered, I believe. Yes, it is. It has a dummy to go with it. So, yeah. Trying to go through these a bit quickly so you don't run out of time. This is a nicer SD9. I don't believe this one has ever been repainted. It looks way nicer than that other one did. So, I've got kind of a matching one for it. This one's way nicer. Next up, this is my first engine of this railroad. This is a CSX. I don't know what type of engine this is, but it's kind of cool paint scheme. Doesn't have any handrails. Yeah. First CSX engine, also an Athearn. Next up, this is kind of an oddball of the whole lot, but this is a Tyco Manoa GP20. I have one similar to this, but in better condition. Not so sure if this one will run. Might be an interesting restoration. Aside from this, probably won't be then, since I'd either have to drill it out or take off a wheel, which isn't a great thing to do. So then, again, there's another Athearn Santa Fe GP9 powered unit. Again, nothing much to note about it, other than knuckles. And this is something interesting to me. This is an Atlas engine. I don't know what type. It looks really, really worn. I think the other shell that doesn't have a chassis might be an Atlas. So I might swap the shell since the other one's a lot nicer. Yeah, it is kind of falling apart and stuff in terms of the shell, but the chassis seems fine. I don't think I've had a complete Atlas engine before. So, next up's kind of cool. This is a also missing all its couplers though, and front and back handrails. This is a Athearn Santa Fe SD40-2. I believe it's powered. It might actually be a dummy. No, I believe it is powered. I don't know. I'll have to test that. Yeah. Kind of interesting that rear truck doesn't feel powered. This one is one of the ones that I'm considering parting out. This is a Baltimore and Ohio GP, I believe GP9 again. Yeah. If there's any engines you think I should part out, I might part out one of the B units or something. But yeah, there's some stuff I want to get running again, but I don't really have the parts to get running, so would like it. This one also is really interesting to me. I was looking into it. I've been told this is a Norfolk Southern -7. It looks like it used to be Conrail, but was repainted. Yeah. Interesting. Also has no couplers, so that'll be a thing that needs to change. We're down to 4 more engines left here. This one seems like it doesn't actually want to sit level, which is kind of weird. So this is the Athearn Santa Fe powered unit again. So, nothing much crazy. And this is another powered Athearn Santa Fe engine. A whole bunch of these Santa Fe Jeeps in there. And then this, to go with the other one, is a matching Atlas Jeep. So yeah, I'll probably keep this one. This one does need a little bit of work, and swap the shell out on the other one. Then the last engine in here. This one was actually kind of interesting to me. It's an Athearn Santa Fe. but it's all blue. There's pretty much no yellow on here. This one is powered, but yeah, that's all the engines. Let's take them over to the track, see how many of them run. I believe there were 31 engines in there. 25 were powered and 6 were dummies, so let's go see how they run. Or if any of them run. I think a lot will, since a lot of them are Athearn. But yeah, that is the whole lot. It took 25 minutes to go through all that stuff. So, let's go test it all. I've made a decision with this, so since this video's been so long already, I'm gonna make a part 2 where I test all these engines, since I bet that'll take a while. So, I guess thanks for watching, stay tuned for part 2, and go watch another video while you wait for that.